Well, everybody, I wanted to cook us something for brunch. And you know, I always like them steaks. Now, my tripod is not in here with me. So, fry up the onions, get some mushrooms, little olive oil, little butter, the seasoning. Hi everybody, I'm Jennifer Duck. You're in the kitchen with me today. I changed clothes. I'm not staining today. I'm not even awake. Did my walkabout today around the outside of the house. Let this simmer a little bit. I love my frying pan. My wok. So I did my sourdough. I got it. I had to move it to a bigger container. I'll do something tomorrow. I don't feel like doing today. Wanted to show you my place. This used to be a cabin a long time ago. It only had 4 windows and 2 doors. That's it. And Nick and I, when we first bought it, it had just a little tiny place there where you walk. And so what I did was, and I had a bar right here, and this heater sat right here, and it went down that way. And when we first moved here, we had no AC whatsoever. There's the AC unit that I bought. We've been here 27 years. Knock on wood, it's still running. Hi, Bob! Everybody, that's Bub. Hi, Bubba. Here come Lena Beaner. Here come Lena. Still on solar. Over there. I took out my tape measure and measured all them cabinets. We put them in ourselves. Long time ago, it had 2 different levels. We had them put in a new floor for us. And this is the pantry. This was our bedroom at one time. I did this floor, painted all these walls. Clyde made me these shelves for my material and stuff. And this is our pantry. I mean, this is where we put everything. Is that right, Lena, Bina, and Bub? A little damp in there. So now we gotta replace this. A little soft spot there. I want a shower. I'm gonna redo the whole shower and have the shower thing come down to here, the walk-in. I don't know if I could do it or not, but next project. Yep, when we first moved here, like I said, we had a washer and dryer, stand-up shower, and the commode was here. And then I went to the place and had them. These are popular, and somebody didn't need that, and I just went and got it. This, and this for $800. And this is maple. This is oak, poplar, and poplar. And that is all the new addition. This was only 672 square foot of a house. And then we moved from 1800, hold on a minute. I gotta turn this down. Talking and cooking at the same time, it don't work. Hold on. I love my onions and mushrooms. Yum. All right, I'm gonna go get me Baby Ray. Hang on. gonna paint my star yellow. Yellow. This is some good barbecue sauce, let me tell you. Baby Ray's. Woo-hoo. Mix it in. It's really good. Gives a good flavor. What was that?
Piece of wire again. Piece of copper.
I'm just gonna eat mine in a bowl. Turn it down low. Let it simmer. So Nick and I did these cabins when we first moved here. I ordered them, and these came. No, Gary did that one after the one fell off. Yeah. I designed this room. Clyde built me this room. I did all the work myself. This is Luan. Hardwood. This is all tongue and groove, knotty pine that I went over to Helms Lumber, picked out all this wood, hand-picked every one of this wood. And then what did I do? I did this room first. Barb was living with us. This is 16 by 19 room. Luan in the breezeway in my sewing room. Now I was going to screen this in, but I thought, nah, let's just make it a family room. And that's Luan over there and there. And then when I got done with this room, I did this room. And Luan. Look at my ceiling fans, need cleaned. I took the big closet. And Clyde put me in a cedar, so all my blankets are up there. And see, I didn't have any power tools. This is all hand nailed. It's ready to eat, Nick.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did this room. He's got a closet. We share that closet. And then we put a brand new window. Last year, I was cleaning it and I broke it. It was old. And then this room here is the potty room. And this is Luan. Luan. Clyde had this in his house. And simple. Oh, I see a bubble. I see a bubble.
Where?
Up there.
Up where?
Right up there where it maybe had a leak.
Might be one of those. I don't think it. No, it didn't leak there. No, not at all.
Well, it's bubble.
Well, that wasn't where it leaked though.
And this is tongue and groove in here also. This was my last project that I did. This came from the Mennonites. This is about, gosh, 6 inches, 7 inches.
What's that mean?
The wood is.
I don't know.
What I put it, I put tung oil on it. The board hit me in the face right here. I was prying it away because I had it upside down. And I was prying that board up there. Wham, it hit me in the nose. Surprised it didn't knock me out. Yep. New one. And then you saw my room in here. And this is my sewing room. And I did this room also. This used to be the screened-in porch. This was the screened-in porch. But this, look, I cleaned this up, y'all. I'm getting better. I got a little more to do there. It's getting winter time, so I could sew again. Yep. And this is all recycled wood from the screened-in porch. New wood. I did all them up there. Them. That. And then this is where we hang out. This is where I sleep. I have an air conditioner. I run it once in a while. I have a heater on set. This room is very warm. Very warm. Insulated very well. So don't tell me I can't do it. Once I put my mind together, I can. And then here's the heavy plastic that I'm going to work. All right, let's eat something. Really, Nick?
Well, I had to pull my pants up. They're about to fall down here.
Smells good. And baby Ray. See, all you just need is a little bit. Do I have any more sourdough?
Bread?
Yeah.
Yeah, in here you got all kinds of it.
I'm just going to eat mine plain. Can you get me some more water and ice?
Water and ice?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's my cup there.
I know, I brought it in.
Oh, okay. I need a napkin. Kids are watching me. So, there's the tour of my inside of my house that I did myself. Let's go out here. Ooh, bright. Hi, Neil. Nice seeing you. Yeah, everybody smells my dinner. Let's go in here. Hold on a minute. Let me put you down. Right here.
In there?
Ah. Hold on, everybody. Hold on.
Baby whites.
Ugh. Move, Nina. Ah, beautiful day out here. Let's move this a little bit. Yep. So, see, I can do it. I just need the energy. I have to push myself. There we go. Yep. So when it rained, I was going to stay out here, you know. It come a monsoon. So this company I'm looking at, I don't know where they're out of. I think it was Acorn or A something. Start with an A. They had a website where they had these roll-up shades on the outside. Boy, I'd sure like to be sponsored by them. Oh, that would be so cool. There we go. My son bought me these chairs. Oh, they're comfortable. They're like captain chairs or whatever. Oh. Sorry, I had to say my prayer. Hot. 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 Okay today. It was, somebody was asking about my, my property. They thought we lived on a farm. No, honey. We're too old for the farm. This is plenty. Trust me. This is plenty. I like them solar lights that he has there. Told me I would like to put them solar lights around the deck, so I can see. It's nice out here right now. I couldn't tell you how nice it is, but yeah, I when I put the blinds down, I thought the rain would stop. Oh no, the rain just come flying in. So like I said, I was looking. I think it starts with AKRON, something like that. And they had like, I think they're out of Georgia. I'm not real sure. But they have the roll-up shades. I thought that would be good. The roll-up shades. And then you could roll them down. And they have anchors. All they are is tarps. You roll them up, you roll them up, and you roll them up. So, and they're clear. That's why I like them. You see them when you go to restaurants and stuff and whatever, you know. We were someplace in Georgia, and I wanted to eat outside, and it was winter time. And they had like a little heater. Oh heck, we can do that. The little heater out here. Yeah, when it starts to snow, it'll get cold. You can't do anything. It's a slow process, everybody. Just a slow process. My son Georgie called. I miss him so much. He's my baby. Ernie called. Well, no, Ernie has not called me today yet. I know he's stressed out about that junk of a car. He bought it. He bought it someplace in Kansas. Yeah. Him and his ex-wife were looking. And they're just going to trade it. I says, well, look for a good deal. I got the hiccup, sorry. Oh my goodness. I eat too fast. Maybe tomorrow. Oh my goodness, what's going on? I really want to start staining. Nick said it's supposed to get chilly at night. Great. I hate when it gets cold. Because I get cold. It's slowly coming together. Jeez, I can't believe it's September already. My granddaughter, her boyfriend, her fiance, His birthday is on the 9/11 of all things. They went to California to see the Golden Gate Bridge and beautiful waterfalls. We need to do that here. There's places over here down on Nassau's Trace Parkway. There's waterfalls. We don't do nothing anymore. Oh, hey, Deb, how was your yard sale? Bob, you cannot get that squirrel. Oh. Let's see, September and October, when I was staying, all that wood in there. Oh, that wood, the stain is going to be honey.
Did Bubba get us a squirrel for supper?
I don't know. He's acting like he is.
Bubba, you can't get it.
You cannot get the squirrel, Bubba. Here, I see him. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Get him, Bubba. Get him. Get him, Bubba. Get him. You see him, Lena? Bubba, did you see him? He was on the tree. Go get him. Go get him. He's on the tree. Yes, you see him? He's up on the tree. You'll see in a minute. We need another plug over there. Hold on. Lena, move. I moved over here to see if you could see the squirrel. Can you see him on the tree? Bubba, is the squirrel in the tree? No. Squirrel's not on the tree. Sometimes you could see him like right over here on this side. I am not together today, everybody. Sorry. Not together. That was a nice walk down to the river, or the creek back. And nose is running. Touch it. See, I'm an amateur using these darn tripods. Let's see if you can see Mr. Squirrel if he comes down. Ah, that hurt. Yep. Now I have so much potential for this little room. But, oh well, Rome wasn't built in a day. Yeah, that rain, it was rough. I was scared in a little bit, kids. I was outside filming the trench. You know, I'm telling you, there's a never-ending story, or always you gotta do something. Always gotta do something. I don't know if I could live in senior housing. No, having people on top of you. Ooh, Lena, what was that? See how loud it is when the squirrel drops his nuts? Putting the insulation up there, or some kind of insulation. It will deaden the sound some. Heck, I'll just get his blue jeans and put up there. I hate insulation. Makes you itch. I have this one insulation. It is really made out of blue jean material. Expensive, but it's easy to work with. Wouldn't take that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5. I don't know what comes in a big bundle of insulation. And yeah, I thought about these windows. They're, how would you say? They're like aluminum. And they move up and move down. They're called Easy Breeze, I think. I'm not real sure. Or I want to do that down at Paul's place, but there was a price. Huh. And you got to measure them just so. And you screw them in. And they're just like the vinyl. Just like the vinyl. But this old noggin is gonna make them. I'll just get a tarp and put a PVC pipe on the bottom and get the bigger eye hooks and just get my long, like that, like this stuff, and just pull it up, pull it down. I gotta see which way is the easiest, costly way to do it. Probably just get a regular tarp. I'm gonna see if I can get a tarp that big. Then my sewing machine, I have a Juki in there. My Juki sews through anything. I'm gonna do it. That place had it comes down slight and has a thing for the door. I like going to YouTube and look at the projects. Can I do it? Sure I can. Like my cutting table. My cutting table, if you looked in my videos, was a, oh, okay, it's glaring. I hate glare. Oh, we gotta get up. How's that? I think fall is here, guys. Much better. My table that I had when I was working in that room, turned it into my sewing room. There was this big table, and it was white, and it had spokes on one side, spokes, and it was open. And then I took my cutting crappy table. It was flimsy that I got at Joann's. And I thought, I looked it up and figured out in my head, oh, okay, no problem. So what I did was I took the metal pieces off, put some hinges on it, so it comes up, and there's a bar that's like this. It goes out and back in, and I put the wooden pieces. I'd have to show you. I did that to my table. So now I got a huge table to lay out my fabric, my batting. I need to sew again. Yep. Need to get back into it. You have to stay busy. Boy, they didn't do these right. Look how uneven. And then of course that's 2 foot in there, 24 centers, but they're only whatever 4x4 is. And then, you know that wood that I have in my room, or no, out here? Well, I'll insulate it, and then I'll put this board right here, take my power tool, put it up there. Yep. It's a slow process, everybody. It's just a slow process. I just wish I had the energy. I have zero energy. I have to push myself. Like today when I went to the lake. I wanted to show you. Yeah, I like it. If it goes down to 0, I can't sleep out here. we have cots. They were used to be Polly's cots. I'd have to get my sleeping bag, definitely. This is my sleeping bag. I don't go anywhere without my sleeping bag. Yeah, it'll warm up in October, I hope. I just don't have Nick and Lisa always trying to, oh, you don't need that. It's not Nick. It's not Lisa. It's mostly Nick. Yeah, I need to go on vacation. I need to go somewhere, anywhere. I don't care. Just need to go somewhere. Every year I go somewhere for my birthday. This will be the first year I don't go nowhere. We went to Florida last time to see Deb. Yep. Ephraim is in the hospital. Keep him in our prayers, everybody. I need to call Deb later, see how he's doing. She's got more energy than me. I tell you, she's a goer. She goes. I have no energy. And Deb's been through a lot too. Well, listen, I talked your ear off. That was a good lunch, supper. And Teddy and Ron up there in Connecticut, and Jenny in Connecticut. Someday I'll get to go up there and see y'all. I don't know how far you are to a park, but I love to go back up there. Because Nikki and I met in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and that is not that far. It's like going to Nashville and back. I'm used to traveling. Yes, I drive all the time. All the time. Why I drive all the time is because Nick, one time, he thought that this semi-truck, dump truck, was going to turn into the turn lane up there by the, in Parsons. By the phone company and the parts store. We just left the parts store, and we were in the turn lane to go turn left, and the dump truck was coming this way, and Nick was driving, and I told Nick he has his turn signal, but he's not in that lane. And Nick said, no, he's turning, and I said, no, he's not, and he pulled right in front of this semi dump truck, and ever since that I said, I won't let him drive. And I jumped out of out of the van. I was shaking. I was about as white as a ghost. I said I could have died. He said that a couple of times, pulled out in front of cars. Ever since he had his accident, falling off the RV head first. The cars can be as far down the road, and he will not pull out. He'll wait for all the cars to go by. Or if he thinks somebody is behind him, he will pull over. I was like, that drives me crazy. I used to drive a truck. And when I get behind the wheel, I'm like this. When people pull in front of semis or car or cut them off, I say a few choice words. Have you noticed that? Oh my God. Yes, I drive. As long as I'm driving, I'm okay. And then when I'm not driving, God heaven help everybody. Because I'm like hanging on to the door. I'll be 80, 90 years old and I'll still be driving. Good Lord. I hope I'm somewhere that I can have somebody drive me. Not yet. Not yet. So he took off the hitch off the car. I don't know what I'm going to do with that darn hitch now. Up there. Yep. Just, we won't go there. Nope. The only hitch we have now is on the back of the truck. All right, well, I done talked your ears off. I'm sorry. That's who I am. I'm just Jennifer Duck. I talk about life. I talk about things. Yep. And thank you for watching and coming to our channel. And now I'm monetized. Woohoo! How exciting. And now I got these stickers. Super chats. I think I understand what they are, Sue. The super chat is like my appreciation that y'all watching me. Hit the subscribe button and the bell to notified when I come on. And the stickers are to say thank you, I guess. And have your names. I think it is to have your names come up on the screen. That's what I think it is. I always am thankful for all of you. I'm going to change my right now I've got my sewing room because I like all that up there. But I think I'm just gonna change it to something different. I don't know. I would love Google, listen, and YouTube. When will I be able to, let's see, survey products? Now, Nikki does surveys on the internet. That's why he's always on the internet, gay. Extra money coming into the PayPal. I would like to do all kinds of surveys and try things out. I've always, when we did in Charleston, we did stuff like that to make some extra money. Or interview their products. That's it for their products. Right now, Nick's looking online. He saw E.K. Akers is the guy that we watch up there in New York. Hi, Sue and everybody. And he did on an electric bike. Ooh, that would have been nice. We could ride around here. We could go down Jennings Bluff where it's safe. Come down Marsh Creek. It would be nice. I don't think nobody will run us over. Or strap Bubba to the back of me. Or Lily. I got to give them a bath. I'm nobody special. I'm just Jennifer Duck. And they call me Daisy Duck. Paulie's been calling, well, he can't do that anymore, but I used to have, when I drove a truck, my handle was Daisy May. And I drove a truck to Texas. Yes, Darlene, I drove to Texas. All the way down to Parr and Victorian and all them places. And I hauled everything and anything. Like in a big 1-ton truck. And a 3/4 ton truck. Like a big U-Haul truck. That's what I did. I made as much as money as them big boys did. Yep. Oh, we got to check on Miles today. Miles, Margaret, the guy that lives across from Barb, fell, I guess, in that place. Yeah, I got to pick up Barb and take her to the vet on Tuesday. Oh, this should be fun. 3 dogs and a cat in my car. We'll put her in way in the back. Yep. Now, driving a truck now is way different from when I used to do it. Yep. Did I have any jobs working inside? Let me think. Yep, I did. I worked at a nursing home over there in Decatur County, where Debbie's mom is at. You need to go see her. Until this old lady threw up on me. I just looked down, vomit rolled down the front of me. She couldn't help it. I thought to myself, why am I inside? Why? I don't like being inside. Hi, Lena. So I left there. This is when we first moved here. I worked there. Where else did I work? I've got a list this long. Let's see. I worked at Food Giant in Linden, in the deli, because it was close to home. And then I worked over there in Parsons, the food deli, for a little bit to help them. Went back to Linden. My son, I had a trailer at the time, and he was going overseas, so I had to go up and get the trailer, his car up at Fort Campbell, and hauled his car back here and store it. And then I worked for Angelica. Oh, no, that was a nice place. Angelica. They made hospital gowns. They still, well, somebody still does, but I made them. And I want to come home and sew it. It's like, what's wrong with my sewing machine? It's not going fast enough because the surgeons, you know. They went under, so I got a severance pay. Oh, I worked at Bates when we first came here. You want to talk about a heck of a place over there? Oh my God. It was, August is hot. So in the factory up there in Louisville, the factory, my face would be beet red, because it was so hot in the factory. And I made gaskets. I think the machine will pull, and then you pull them apart, or I lasted a week. Nick lasted 2 days. So I worked that. I worked at Bates. I lasted a week. I'm thinking there's got to be other jobs around here. But I didn't give up. And then Angelica's, Bates, Angelica's, Food Giant, well, they called it the Food Pig or something like that. I don't remember. Food Giant. Oh, hauled medicine to all the nursing homes in the state of Tennessee at night for M-Farm. Worked 3 days there and 2 days in Nashville. So I did 5 days driving. That was a fun job. I like that. It was just me and the 4-legged animals. From 6 o'clock at night till 6 in the morning. I did all of Tennessee. And then they put me on days, and I sure didn't like that. Nope. At nighttime you could work, you just breeze through the towns, you know, only you and the cops are out there. But during the day it's a lot different. And Nick worked at Johnson Controls, Leroy Samaritan in Lexington. Thought we were all going to starve when we first moved here. But we did good. Let's see. M-Farm, I did that for a year and a half, almost 2. Then I got on with Jeff Reeves. And I loved it. I loved it. Always looked nice when I went somewhere. And Nick worked in the factory at Johnson Controls. I think he was over in Lexington at the time. So I'd be over there and pick up the car parts and then go. I would leave out Sunday and not come back until Tuesday. Because I had all these runs down there. I remember my boss telling me, don't go across the road to Mexico. We won't come back. Okay. Oh, the best tamales. Yum, yum, yum. Oh my gosh, I could still. These little old man Mexican, they used to have a cafeteria and they didn't have it where I was at. And right there beside where you went in to get, they had a little shop. And so when I went there, I cannot think of the name of it. Oh my God. The tamales up here are way different from down there in Mexico. They are delicious. I bought like 3 pounds, and by the time I got home, I had them all gone. I ate them for breakfast. Yeah. Darlene, send me some good tamales. Oh my goodness, they were so delicious. Yep. Boy, them are good memories. And of course I had my CB, so my handle was Daisy May. And the guys that knew me, I had some friends that we'd all meet in one place and have breakfast or lunch or whatever. And there was a guy named John Taylor was his name. And he would wait on me. And then we would all leave Texas together and travel, because his runs were Texas, Tennessee, where else? Ohio, Cincinnati. And then my boss started switching my routes. I said, can you send me somewhere else than Texas, Texas, Texas? Yep, he did. I went to Ohio. I went to, gosh, the only places I never went to is California, South Dakota, Wyoming. I went everywhere else. New York. I hated New York. Sorry, guys. I hated New York. But I went. I did North Carolina. I did South. I did all up down the coast. I remember my boss calling me, Duck. Yes. He says, you're going to run into a little bit of snow. I said, oh, you're just a little too late, Jeff. He says, why? I said, it's already here. Can I get back to driving? We were in the gorge up there in Tennessee where all that stuff come in. I just dropped off a load and we're up in the gorge. We went up, made it all the way to the top. Now we got to come down and there's cars flying past us. And I'm just thinking to myself, when we get down to the bottom of the gorge, there's going to be a mess down there, isn't there? Yeah, or on their radios. And they were just all flying past us. And we were creeping down the hill. Because it was slick, let me tell you. You could see the salt and pepper shaker to the right doing the side roads. It's like, man, he's supposed to be on the main drag doing that. They were on the side of the road. We got down to the bottom. There was a mess of cars everywhere. And we were stopped. And then they shut down the highway. Well, it's a little too late because it's all piled up. Everybody was piled up. Oh, that's sometimes why I don't travel this interstate much. Yeah, them are good times. I still see me. I went to North Carolina, South Carolina. Go visit my son in Georgia. Went to see Ernie over in Missouri. Ohio. Pennsylvania. Saw my dad and my aunt before they passed. I just like driving. I just can't help it. I just like driving. Yeah, but when a car pulls in front of a truck or does something stupid, then I say a few choice words. I don't care if they hear me or not. He just rolls his eyes. You got it in your blood. You can't help it. my dad was a bricklayer. He used to tell me, babe, he says, I worry about you. I said, Dad, don't worry about me. Worry about the other person on the other end. Yep. Let's see. Well, their job. Then 9/11 hit. I was up in North Carolina trying to get to Georgia for my next load. And everything was shut down. A couple of my best friends were stuck at port in New York. They couldn't get Hubert. He drove a flatbed, not flatbread, flatbed.
Look at the orange that we just bought.
Oh, yuck.
One of them, so I'll have to clean the bowl out too.
Yuck. Mold. Hey, that's penicillin. Lots of green stuff on the orange. Let's see. I know we just bought them. Got an orange that came from Aldi's, and it's covered in green. Penicillin. Let's see. Yeah, I was stuck in North Carolina. And Hubie, he was stuck in New York. So I was trying to get to Georgia. Finally got to Georgia. And Jeff said, just hold up. That was nice, because I got to visit my son George in Cartersville, Georgia. And we watched it on TV, where 9/11 hit. We just could not believe our eyes. Wow. Everything shut down that day. Everything. It took for a while to get everything back in order. And then, boy, I'm going down memory lane working. Okay. And then, once I got back from Georgia, they laid off a bunch of people, and I was the last one to be hired, and then they laid me off. And my house was almost paid for. Almost. Ah, heck. I gotta start all over. So I took some time off, and then that's when I met Paul. And I started, I applied for Holland People. I need to shoot myself. What was I thinking? When you're in a truck, you're there by yourself. I play games to keep my mind fresh. What kind of truck I was coming up on, or just talking on the radio, whatever. And then when I got hired on to haul people, that was different. Let me tell you, that was real different. Some people can be really nice, and some people just would eat. I did it for 10 years. And then I just couldn't take it anymore. They came out with computers, oh Lord. Now I'm just know how to do my iPhone, but I'm just saying computers, you know, just like, oh, here we go. And it just little things were starting to happen. I noticed if I look straight ahead, I'm okay. But if I just took my head off the road, just this sideways like this, I felt like a semi was on top of me. And I couldn't explain it. And I had this huge pain in my head, right here. Well, I think it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, Wilbur called me. Are you going to work today? Yeah. He says, where are you? I said, I looked around, I was in my carport. In my carport. He says, what are you doing there? You're supposed to be in Jackson and down to Memphis at the VA. And I'm like, And this is about 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's when I would leave out for work and pick up people and take them. And then a few minutes later, I came back and said, "Who are you?" And that right away, they knew something was wrong. So when Nikki got off work, and I was still sitting in my van because I didn't know where I was, they rushed me to Vanderbilt. Shit, I couldn't tell you my name. Couldn't tell you the kids. Could not tell you who the president was. I couldn't say anything. I just didn't know. When you work a 12, 14-hour day, 5 days a week, and then the 6 to 7, everything goes beep. Your body will shut you down, and my body did. Shut me down. Now, I'm not a homemaker at the time. I've been working since I was 11 years old, doing everything and anything. And when your body shuts you down, you just lose your mind. I did. Thank God for my sewing, because my sewing is what kept me going. Oh my God. And cry, and couldn't understand why this was happening. It had a lot to do with Nick and my son Ernie. We had an RV parked right here. I bought it at a yard sale, $2,500. Nice RV. And Gary just came to the house, and we were doing power tools, talking about power tools and stuff like that. And, you know, I was working on it. Nick was, we washed the trailer down. We forgot to wash the awnings. We did that. That was on a Sunday. And we put the tarp back up, and I was on this side and Nick was on that side. And all I remember is felt a tug. I went around and he was on the ground. You see how our ground is rock. Face down. And I ran and called 911. They came. Pat came down. She was the nurse. Guys came down the road carrying all of them. Barb was here. And Nick wakes up. Then he rolls over on his back. And blood was just everywhere. Nose, ears, mouth, everything. And I washed them off, you know, just washed his face and kept over and over. What happened, Jen? What happened? What happened? What happened? Told him, Dad, you had a little fall. You're going to be okay. Give me a minute. I know Memphis, but I know Nashville. Them ambulance didn't come as fast as I wanted them to come. I hung up on the operator twice. By the time they came, they said they knew who I was, because, you know, calling. Daisy, we're going to take him to Memphis. Like, hell you are. I'm not going to Memphis. We go to Nashville. Well, down at Drop Anchor, down over the hill here, they had a helicopter waiting for him, airlift him. By that time, I called Lisa and said, well, first, I called her and said, meet me at the Parsons Hospital. Click. Didn't even give her a chance to say anything because she was just here. And we were talking about power tools. They said he's going to be airlifted to Vanderbilt. I said, oh, great, okay. I called her back, said, never mind, just come to the house. Click. Didn't even give her a chance. Just, so she flies here. And I can see her. They take, the policeman takes me down to Drop Anchor. I kissed Nick and I told him, you're going to be all right. Meanwhile, Lisa can't drive at night. Barb can't drive at night. I'm the only one that can drive. By now, everything is starting to hit me. And I'm grabbing things out of the house to go. I don't know what I'm doing. So I get in the car and I get his I don't even remember flying through Linden. I don't remember going through Loboville. By the time I hit the interstate, why are you stopping? I'm out of gas. We got to get gas before I go anywhere. I don't remember pumping the gas. I got about as far as Fairview. And then it hits me. Will I get to see my husband alive or dead? That's all I could say. By that time, I was starting to feel funny. And I'm driving. I don't even remember going the interstate, really. I looked at Lisa. I feel funny. Lisa says, I'll slap you. I looked at her and said, honey, you slap me, I'll slap you back. Oh, I know it wasn't funny at the time, but I was just like, you know. We get to Vanderbilt, and the guys know me up there is Daisy. Daisy, what are you doing here? I said, well, my husband came here on a helicopter. I said, what's his name? Nicholas Duck. And I'm trying to be calm. I'm pacing back and forth. And the guy behind the counter, I know it's not his fault, he says, oh, we don't have anybody by that name. By that time, I lost it. I said, you're telling me you have nobody here at this hospital? They told me he was coming to Vanderbilt. Don't give me that crap. By that time, somebody grabs my hand. I don't remember anything. Now I'm trying to be calm. And I could hear Barb. She does this all the time to calm herself down. You know, Lisa's like, you know, because this is her brother, you know. So me and her, some guy grabs my hand. We go up to the 11th floor, I think. I'm not real sure. I think is it 12th or 11th? I don't know which one to burn on the 10th floor and 11th. I think we were on the 11th floor. There he was sitting up. He had all kinds of things in him. They already removed his spleen. The ladder fell like it was that guilty damn thing. The ladder fell on top of him, ruptured his spleen. He broke this bone here. What's that? Claver. Punctured all his ribs and broke his jaw. And meanwhile, while we're standing there, the little light on his thing is on beep, 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 beep. And I look at Lisa and I look at the doc and say, is that normal? He said, no. Okay, my son George, Nash, from his house to our house is 4 hours. He made it there in 2 hours at the hospital. And I don't remember anything. I just remember Ernie got off the elevator. I lost it. He had to fly in. It took me 4 days to come out of it. I know Nashville like the back of my hand. I couldn't function. I could not function. I didn't leave his side. I was right there. They got us a hotel. I never left Dad's side, Nick's side. This was our anniversary, our 30th anniversary. It still gets me, and it's been a long time since this happened. Now, he's not working. he never missed a day of work at the bomb factory up there at Bucksmart. They knew something was wrong, and they called me. And I told them what happened, how he fell here at the house. They fired him. They fired my husband. But when he got hired on with them, he had this insurance in case something happens to you. He can claim it, and that was the best thing he ever did. Well, everybody from where he worked came to the hospital to see Nick and said that because he would never miss work, he always was there on time before. That's just who he was, because that's what he did in Navy. And sorry, it's still touchy. And they wanted to give him their time hours so that he would still come back to work. Well, Nick couldn't work no more. Not after all that trauma. So, meanwhile, my son Ernie is having a messy divorce. And my job, now I'm working 7 days a week, hauling people. With all the stress with Ernie and Nick and me, my body just shut me down. I had no control of it. I had no control of it. So both of us are both out of work. Oh boy, talk about hell. Oh my God, we had a house payment. And out of the blue, because Nick worked at the power plant in Chicago, or not in Chicago, but in Cordova, we got a lump sum of pay. And the kids said the best thing was to do is to pay off the house. And that's what we paid off that house with that money. Knock on wood. But get back to Nick. When he came home from the hospital, now he has a brain trauma. I'd be sitting there beside the computer, and Nick is freaking out because he can't see me. He walked right past me and started getting scared because he couldn't see me. And I looked at him, I said, Nick, I'm right here. I'm right here. And he couldn't see me. So I take him back to the Vanderbilt. And they did some more tests on him. He has this issue in his eyes that he gets waveries. It's his brain. And there's nothing they can do about it. Sometimes he can't. Just couldn't see me. So we had to work on that. And he still gets these things in his eyes. And he had his eyes tested. And they said there's nothing they can do for him. It's just in his brain. Because when he hit hard, he hit hard. I'm sorry. It's still sensitive, and it's been many years ago. I think that happened in 2010, if I'm not mistaken. 2010? Because I got off the road 2011. Yep. That was our 30th anniversary. Now, he's home, I'm home. Yee boy, under the same roof. Oh my God. Thought for sure we're going to kill each other. But we didn't. And then he finally went back to work. after the doctor released him. Then a year later, that's why he's a big belly, he had a hernia surgery. Oh, God. Here I gotta take him back to the hospital and have that done. And that's when they found out that he had AFib when the ladder hit him. All right, so he's working. And all the issues with me and our 30th anniversary, we go to, where is that, Mobile. I rented the cabin down there, and the kids came. God, they were little George and Ernie. Not Jordan and Ernie. Jordan and George were little, and I had to drive to Mobile. I don't know how I drove, because I couldn't drive out of the driveway without having a darn panic attack. Sorry. My dentures had crap under them. Yeah. Yep. So, when we celebrated our anniversary, sorta, my birthday in the hospital, and then drove down to Mobile, Alabama for our anniversary, our 30th, down there. The kids thought it would be good just to be together, I think. And it was nice. Down then, we rented a nice big, like, house down along that water there. It was pretty down there. That's where everybody from here goes, down there. Let's see. So, meanwhile, I'm out of work now. And I had no idea what I'm going to do with myself. That was 2011 when I got off the road, filed for disability. 2 years went by and remembered nothing. Seriously, don't remember nothing. I remember couldn't understand, well, why this was happening now. You know, that is just stress. Darlene, I worry about you. I know I shouldn't, but I do. Stress can do a lot of damage. It can make your legs go numb. It can make your limbs go numb. It can make anything go numb. And it did. It made me go numb. Yep. And then I have my friend Fox. Him and I used to drive together. And he would call me up and says, come get me. I want to get out of here. And I would, between Don Johnson, Bobby Fox, and Polly, they got me out of my shell to help me get back into the swing of things again. And I told Yari mine, I can't remember how to get from here to the mailbox, or from here to Fat Man's, or just crazy. I mean, here I love driving. I go everywhere and anywhere. And for my sewing, I would do, you know, inside the house. And I was not an indoor person. I am an outdoor person. So when that happened to me, I thought I was losing my mind. I really did. I knew I had to do something, and I went to Centerstone. I don't know if y'all have Centerstones in your neck of the woods. It's like a shrink. That's it. And I went to this guy, and Brian Silver, what is his name? Let's see if I can remember his name. Brian Silverthorn. He was a good guy, let me tell you. They wanted to give me drugs. Of course, I don't take drugs. I don't take them when I'm supposed to. He said, you know what you need? I said, no, I don't know what I need. He said, you need to get in your car and drive again. I said, are you out of your blooming mind? I can't even drive out of the driveway without having a panic attack. Or pack my car and take me 3 hours just to get in the car. I said, okay. And I did. That was the best thing I ever did. Is get in there. I would go down to where Paul's campsite was. We didn't have it at the time. And I would get down there, and I'd get lost, and I'd panic because I didn't know where I was going. No, I did not know where the heck I was. And then Fox, he would go in the car with me, and I would drive him. And he said, do you remember where we're at? And I said, no, I don't even know this place. He goes, sure you do, Duck. We've been here several times. Nope, I've never seen this in my life. He said, one day, he's a little guy, came out of the car, came around to the fit, and I was standing there, and he grabbed me like this. He said, now, Duck, get with it. I know you know that. Okay, whatever you say, Fox. And he goes back into his car. I miss him. He was funny. Then Don did the same thing. He would take me out to National Trace, because we used to go out to National Trace all the time. And do you remember this place? I said, Don, no, I don't remember. Or the lake, like where we go to Beach Lake. You know, there's another road that goes behind the water back there. And he said, no. Shh, I've never been out here. So, oh my God. He would just shake his head. He passed away this year. He was 83. And then Paul. I remember he called me up one day. He said, what are you doing, Duck? Or he called me Daisy. Daisy, what are you doing? I said, nothing, I'm going stir crazy. What are you doing? We're going on a trip. I said, Paul, that's nice. Where are we going? And you're driving. I said, oh, no, I'm not driving. Oh, yes, you are. I said, no, I can't drive. He said, sure you can. So he came and got me in his Nissan car at the time. And we left here. We went to Wisconsin to visit his stepdaughter. And from Wisconsin, I don't want to go anywhere near Chicago. We went right through Chicago. Oh, God. Because I used to go around Chicago and not go through. Went through Chicago. Won't go through Chicago now. Chicago. Then we went to Pennsylvania. We went and saw Hubert. And my dad, when he was alive. I don't think mine Helen was alive yet. No, she was gone. My dad was still there. And then we left there, saw Aunt Rose. And then we go to New York. We went to upstate New York. What's that place? Mohegan? Oh, gorgeous up there. Gorgeous. I drove all that up there. And we stayed with his friend Kenny and Leanne. And just that water up there was freaking cold. Let me tell you how cold the water was. They just had a flood. And we're out there in a canoe, me and Dottie. Just canoeing away. And, of course, I had a life jacket because I don't swim very good. And she said, see how fast this water is going? I said, yeah, why is this water so fast? We just had a flood. And I'm like, we need to get off this water now. I don't want to go anywhere. But Polly took me up there. Now, Mohegan Lake, the people in New York City don't know about upstate New York. It's beautiful up there. It's up there by the Poconos in Pennsylvania. We went through there. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, it's beautiful up there. Oh, I saw Kenny. And it's just amazing up there. And then we went to Long Island. I told Paul, I am not driving. Sure you are. I am not driving. I used to drive a truck through here. I am not driving. Yep. He didn't take no for an answer. And I could hear Kenny on the other end. Look, Daisy, there's a Statue of Liberty. And I'm trying to drive with, I'm on a bridge. I can't think, maybe it was a George Washington bridge. Maybe y'all could tell me. It was 2 deckers on top and on the bottom. Texas has a bridge like that up and top. And I think that in Houston, I think. And I'm trying to drive and trying to look at the cars just whipping past me, you know. Look at this thing on Statue of Liberty. Paul, I can't watch. So we get up there, and now we're in Long Island. Beautiful over there. Expensive. Ooh, yes, very expensive over there. And he has a friend. Paul used to have a place in the bay. And he said, "You want to go see my bay shack?" And I said, "Sure." I don't care. His friend had a boat, and we took it out. Paulie took it out, and he said, "See this shack right here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I see that shack." He said, "That used to be mine. Now it's the constable's. Whoever owns the island or whatever, that's their shack." So we pulled up to it, and we got to see it. And I said, "Wow, you own this?" I mean, it was a shack in the water. When the tide went out, you were stuck there. And of course, it was hurricane season. And so the water is really, and I'm thinking, this is not going to be good. So we came back. And then Kenny says, "Let's go back out." I was like, there's no way I'm going back out there on the ocean because the waves were, the boat, and I was starting to look a little blue, a little busy. I told Paul I don't feel good. Something's wrong. I don't feel good. "Oh, you're just a little seasick." Little. As soon as we got off the boat, he looks at me. "Yeah, I can't take you nowhere." No, you can't. I remember him holding on to me. We're at the ocean, and I never really went over there to the ocean, and he's hanging on to me, and the waves are so strong. Oh my gosh. I'm going down memory lane. Yep. Yeah, we came after we left New York. Oh, I know what it was. Paulie bought this crappy RV. That Kenny told him it was a good RV. It was a crappy. I told Paul, no, don't buy this. You won't be happy. He didn't listen to me. He bought it anyways. I towed this crappy RV. When we come back off of Long Island, Jones Beach, I think we were near that Jones Beach. I think that's up there. Yeah, I think it was. Here I am driving this RV across that double bridge again, and I could hear Kenny on the CB, "Daisy, look at this Statue of Liberty. It's over that way." And I'm like, "Paul, I can't look. There's traffic in front of me, traffic in back of me. We're like bumper to bumper coming across that bridge." Finally get off that dang bridge, and we coast into the gas station, and we lost our water tank underneath. Blocked traffic forever. I told Paul this was a bad idea buying this RV because it's a piece of junk. That's what it was. No, it's okay. I'll fix it up. Oh my God. I coast into this gas station. I hear this dragging. I said, "I'm afraid to ask." He said, "Oh, it's probably a stick." And I'm thinking, no, it's probably something major. We get in the gas station. "Did you know up in New York you cannot pump your gas?" No. They have to do it for you. I said, "That's fine. Let them do it for you." It wasn't the gas line. It was the water, the big container. So Paul had to go under there and fix it so we can, and I'm just shaking my head, telling him this was a bad idea. "Hi, Bub." Why did Bub come see Mama? Did you come to see Mama? Huh? You did, huh? Dad's gonna feed you. Oh, no. Oops. So we get off, we get out of the gas station. Polly, what do you want now? I hear Dad calling your name. He's gonna feed you. Yes, he's gonna feed you. Oh my goodness. And then he tied it up, so we got across the bridge, got in the gas station, barely made it in there, and then got everything squared away. And then we leave there to go to North Carolina with this motorhome, this piece of crap. Oh my gosh. Oh, we went to Pennsylvania first and saw my mom's grave. And I told Paul, the tree is too close. The tree is too close. He didn't listen to me. Smacked the tree. Now we got a big old gash in the thing. I said, Paul, don't talk to me. I just got up and sat in the back of the van while he's swearing up at there and looks outside all the big tent in the side of the camper, and I'm thinking, why did you buy this piece of junk? And I mean really junk. He wanted it. Kenny thought it was a great deal. No. We left there and went to North Carolina to Ann's place. Came home. And then he had his stroke, heart attack. Yep. And then it all starts all over again. Oh, all right, I'm out of work. So I'm staying with Paul. And this is crazy. It was like 6 months. He owned the CB shop at the 163. Oh my goodness, my goodness. I never thought that we were that close of friends, but we were. I didn't know at the time. And I'm back. Oh no, sorry. Wait. Take that back. Well, that's right. I had to think. Ooh, I hate when everything leaves me, you know. That he parked the RV in front of his house. And then Sunday, a couple of weeks before Christmas, I said, let's go Christmas shopping for everybody, you know, because I felt pretty good, you know, not working or anything, and I'm trying to, I don't like Paulie being a Scrooge, and for years he was like that, and I told him, no, not around me, you're not. So, So it's a winter day. I took the Fit, and we were walking around at Tractor Supply up there in Dixon, and think nothing of it. It was a cold day, and we came home. That was like Saturday night. I said, hey, Paul, I said, I'll call you when, later when I wake up. No problem. Now, this is in December, and I could still, and I called him here at the house, and I says, this was early in the morning when I woke up, and I said, Paul, how come he's not answering his phone? That's weird. I called him all day. Come evening, I called the shop and said, hey, can one of you go over there and check on Paul? Go check and see if he's okay. Well, meanwhile, Missy's barking up a storm. And so Johnny, his brother, the baby brother, crawled through a window, didn't break the door down, should have just broke the door down. He could always replace the door. Crawled through a window, and Paul was laying on the bed. He had a water bed. When you walk in, the living room's here and the bedroom's here. And Paul was laid backwards, and he couldn't move. He couldn't move. There was blood everywhere. So by that time, I told Nick, I said, I gotta go, something's wrong. I jumped in the car and I went. And by the time I hit the interstate, I had 911 at his house at the check. And I got there. The ambulance guy refused to go. I said, oh, heck no. He's going to the ER. He likes it or not. So I looked, blood all over the daybed. It wasn't a daybed. It was a waterbed, but it was on a waterbed frame, but it was a mattress. And I told him, I said, yep, I called you and you didn't answer the phone. Guess what, buddy? You're going to the ER. No, I'm not. Oh, yes, you are. You're not going to argue with me. Ouch. So they took him. And the man, ow, got a cramp in my leg, sorry. Oh, let me stand up. Can you tell Daddy get me some more water? Okay, Lena. Now it's Lena's turn to tell Mommy. Did you eat your breakfast? Oh, nope. Get away. Did you eat your dinner? Oh, that was some good dinner. I was supposed to give you a bath. Huh? Later. Tomorrow. I've been saying that for 2 days now. Bath time. Huh? Ooh. So then, the ambulance driver tells me, Mrs. Duck, you know where the VA is. You won't be able to keep up with me. I said, does he know who he's talking to? I don't think he knows who he's talking to. Okay. We left out. I was right behind him. When he pulled into the VA, I was right there. And the guy looked at me and said, where are you from? I said, way up north. So we're in the ER together, and I hear somebody yelling in the next bed. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, why do I know that voice? I happened to look out, and there he was. It was Fox. I'm like, what the hell are you doing in here? And he says, oh, these doctors are telling me something, and I don't understand it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, God, here we go. So I got Paul here and Fox is here, right beside each other. They never met each other, but they talked through the curtain. So I'm babysitting, not really babysitting, but with both of them. Marsha's not there yet. I'm thinking, this is not good. So, Doc comes in, and his sister comes, and Doc says, who's your next of kin? And he looked at me, he said, me. I was like, really? Not family. Oh, you are. I said, okay, all right, I'm not going to argue with it. I didn't know it, but he already put me down next of kin a long time ago, so I said, okay, you know. And Chris, I think, she was there for a little bit, and found out he had a stroke and a heart attack and bladder cancer. I'm like, holy hell. I mean, now he's paralyzed, right arm, from a motorcycle accident. Somebody down on 48, he was coming up with his motorcycle, and car went into his lane. Like, they don't do that around here, you know. Thank God he had his helmet on. He took a telephone pole out with his head. And when he did that, he broke all the end nervings on this side. So he's paralyzed in this arm. So now he is in the VA hospital. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how's this all going to play out? And I called Nick. I said, we're going to be here for a while. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I just know that I'm gonna be here with Paul. And yep, I just known Polly a long time. Oh, so I never thought anything would happen to him either, you know. Nick and then me, and then, I think God has a purpose for all of our lives. And when I got off the road, when Nick got off from whatever, his job and everything, and then I feel that God gave me Paul to take care of. Yeah, because I treat him just like mine. Two damn Yankees in the same household. Ooh. Oh my God. I never left his side. And then my son says, Mom, could you come for Christmas? And I'm like, I'm not in my right mind right now, but, I asked Chris if she would be with her brother, Paul's the oldest, and then you got Chris. Oh yeah, whatever. Paul said she's only been there maybe 2 times when he was in the hospital, and then my friend Fox was in the next room right beside him. I hear the doctor saying to Fox, you better get your ducks in a row. This doctor at the VA, sometimes they have good manners and sometimes they do not have good manners. And I heard that, and I heard Fox just screaming. And I'm thinking, this is not good. So I went over with him. I went over to his bed and I said, calm down, Fox, calm down. What's wrong? He said, that doctor told me to get all my ducks in a row. And I said, oh, Jesus. So I went over to the doctor and asked them, I said, I know you can be a real jerk like you just were. Isn't there any other way that you could probably just chill and try to wait till the wife came? Oh, no, we don't do that. Oh, I lost it right there. I think I made that man a new ass butthole. I gave it right to him. I said, you have no respect for anybody in here. I know you have to tell people, but that's not a way to do it. And then Paul's yelling my name, and what's going on? I'm like, don't worry about it, it'll be all right. And I'm calling Marcia. Marcia, get up here now. I says, because and she couldn't come because she had a sore throat or something. And I'm like, I think it'll be all right. Just, you need to be here. And, yeah. So I go to Georgia, trying to think of all of calming me down and everything. Marcia calls me when I'm in Georgia. I hated to leave Paul in the VA hospital. I just didn't like leaving him there. And Marcia calls and said Bobby died on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. And I'm like, oh, geez, I felt like crap then. And then my son says, it's okay, Mom, you could go home. So I did. I came home and I went to the VA and, But before I did that, before I left, and he was in the emergency room where Paul was, Fox used to tell me, do you see the spirits? That's what he said, the spirits. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I see the spirits over there in the bathroom. I said, no, Paul. Fox, if you see them spirits, then I believe you. And he says, my mom is there too. I knew God was close, but I didn't know how, only God knows. And this is before I went to Georgia for a day, because I came back after that. Sat on the end of his bed, and he says, see the spirits. And I'm like, if you see the spirits, Bobby, I believe you. And he says, my mom is combing her hair in the bathroom. I says, what? Okay. And I left it like, I didn't say anything else to him. You know, I was just trying to ease him, trying to be quiet, you know. And he was still at the VA hospital. Then they moved Polly to a different room and moved him right next to him. I swear, they were right next to each other. I'm thinking, how can this be Quince? So I go to Georgia, come back, and then Marsha calls and tells me that Bobby passed away on Christmas Eve. Oh, jeez. And Polly's never met him. And Bobby never met Paul either. So as I'm traveling back home from Georgia, he calls me and he says, oh, I'm going to tell you, they tell me I have bladder cancer. I'm like, oh boy, it rains, it pours. Okay. What are you barking at? So I get home, I get there, I go see him. I told Nick I'll be here for a while. And then all chaos comes again. Never a dull moment with Paul. Never a dull moment. I'm sitting there in the library because they were doing something. They were doing a test on Paul, so I was at the library at the VA. And I get this call, and it was the tax lady. He used to own a CD shop at the 163. And the tax lady calls me and asks me if I had $4,000 that I could just give him like that. I was like, no, I don't have $4,000. Why? What's going on? Well, we need $4,000 or we're going to shut the doors. And I said, well, shut them damn doors because I don't have four and he don't either. Baba! What are you barking at? Yeah. But, oh my goodness. Lily, come see me. Here comes Lily. Lily don't come in here very often. Come here, Lily. Come here. Lily. Hi. Hi, sis. Hi, sis. Oh, Lena, you're so jealous. Come here, sis. Where you going? What's wrong with Bubba? Is he chasing them squirrels? Huh? Bye, Lil. Oh, now I gotta shut this one. Hang on. Oh. That's why I put the things up, so the sun wouldn't go whatever. So I stayed with Paul the whole time after he came out of one surgery test. They were doing some tests, and that lady called and asked me if I had $4,000, and I said, no, I don't have $4,000. Just go ahead and shut the doors. I mean, seriously, the people were stealing from him anyways. So they asked me, Mrs. Duck, where would you like to send Paul? And I'm like, where would I send Paul? Okay, take him down here by our neck of the woods. Well, they called them up over here in Parsons. It's a rehab place. And they had the flu. And I'm like, great, this is not good. So we go to Bordeaux, I think the name of that. It was I feel bad for our veterans. That is a heck of it's a hellhole up there. Well, Paul had a sore on the back of his butt, as big as my hand, this fist, or bigger. And he had to have an air mattress. And I'm thinking, my God, how did you get this? Just by being in the hospital, or laying on the bed at the house, and then laying in the hospital bed, not getting up and motivating him, you know. I said, so we go to Bordell, or, no, what's the name of that place? Bardell? I think it was a veteran's home in north of Nashville. Over there by, I know where it's at. It's over there by the ladies' prison in Nashville off of Brawley Parkway. That's it. I still remember. The people on the first and second floor were nice. The people from the third and fourth and up were I can't believe our veterans live in that place. It was a hellhole. And they were going to give Paulie a bath. And they dropped him in like the stretcher. I said, oh, no. Don't even go there. I will take care of him. He's under my care now. Don't leave me. I said, no, I'm not going to leave you. Nope, you're okay. I gave him a shower and took care of him. And this man that came to give him an air mattress to lay on because he had a hole in his body, on his butt, and he could not believe the nurse, the male nurse, was looking at porno, nude pictures on his computer instead of helping Paul. I flipped out. I lost it. I went to the head nurse and they didn't care because they were losing their jobs. And I'm like, that's not the issue. I mean, you need to do your job. I called up the head honcho at the VA and said, we need to transport Paul now or move him to a different floor because this is not happening. And then Paul calls me, oh, it's okay. I'm like, no, it's not okay, because I was downstairs. So the next day I stayed with him. I didn't sleep. I slept out in the car. Then I went in there, and I said, we're transporting you to Parsons. And I did. I drove him. I took him out of there and drove him all the way to Parsons, and they helped me take him out of the car. And then I was closer. And then meanwhile, I have Missy. And Paulie stayed there from January, February, March. March the 3rd was the day that he had to have his bladder cancer removed. Then I took him from Parsons to Vanderbilt. No, not the VA, it's Vanderbilt. They were doing the surgery. And I remembered the people at the nursing home, you can't handle him, you can't. I said, Paul, don't you sign a thing. Don't you dare sign anything. I had Mike Ivy come to the nursing home, and he signed to give me power of attorney of him. And then they knew they were messing with the wrong person. You don't mess with me. So I picked him up in his car, took him all the way to Vanderbilt to have him his surgery, stayed with him, brought him back, and I never let him go until he passed away. And he stayed here at my house in the pantry. In the pantry. And a week after his surgery, we get eviction notice out of his apartment, or that little shack. And this is in wintertime down here. I'm losing my mind. And I said, who evicts somebody that just had surgery? Because Paul couldn't come and do anything. And I had to have Barb come over here, watch him until I got a shed, I got a truck, and I got everything out of that house. Everything. Come in July, they closed the doors at the the shop. By then, he was able to motivate, get his wheelchair, got him in the truck. We went over there, got another U-Haul truck. And them co-workers don't mess with me because I shut the CB shop down. There was more money going out than there was more money coming in. And they probably hate me. I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass. Nope. I brawn everything. Stripped the towers, stripped everything. And they already stole everything from Paul anyways. They took all of his equipment, all his CBs, whatever. I had a shed for him up there by the carport. I called the guy up that brought me my shed for him. They went up and I gave him the extra money, and he went up there and got it and brought it down here. So I got everything. And then when Polly passed, I called Chuck's CB shop up, and they came and gave me whatever and took all the CBs. But yeah, Polly stayed here, moved in on the 2015th, and he died October the 20, October the 7th, 19. But I treated him like he was my own, and boy, let me tell you, 2 Yankees under the same roof. Ooh. So I have that. I don't sleep very well. I'm up at night, because, checking on Paul. I still have that instinct in me. The screened-in porch, when he was still here with me, I was just closing that porch in. He never really got to see that porch. So, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sorry it came so long. I just see what happens when you go down memory lane. Yeah. So now Nick and I are will be 43 years this coming October. Ooh, to the same guy. And yep, some days I don't know how y'all do it. Yep, we're still together. For marriage, you just have to work at it. So I feel like I need to be a caregiver again. And I got them service connected too, because I never took no for an answer. Yep. So I just some days I feel lost, but that's normal. I mean, and now since I'm gotten older, yeah, I can't believe I'm going to be 70 this October. It's just a number. The things I used to do, yep, just a little slower. Yep. So, yeah, I'm sorry I talked your ears off. That's just who I am. I can't help it. Yep, so we've been here going to be 28 years next year. It'll be 28 years in August. Now, Jim, our friend Jim in Florida, let me turn this a little bit. Hey, Bob. Sun's going down, or sunny. Now, Jim is sick. Jim he fell and hurt his back. I think he said he broke his back. Jim is in a rehab place in Tampa, or is it Turpin? Could be Turpin Springs. It's down the road from where he used to live in Newport Richie. No, you can't have my stuff, Bubba. Nope. Oh, you gonna come give me hugs? Come on, come on, come on, you can do it. Oh boy, oh. Come on, try it again, Come on, you can do it, Oh, there you go. Oh, hi everybody. He is a mess, everybody, let me tell you. I was sleeping real good this morning, and he he comes snuggling up and gives me loving in the ears and the... Huh. You good boy? You good boy? Yep. He's a mess. He ain't gonna like Tuesday. No. They're gonna give you a shot. 2 shots. Oh, my goodness, they're gonna give you shots. Huh. Yes, yes. Yep, they're gonna give you a booster. Huh, they're gonna give you a booster, boy, and a rabies shot, because I'm lacking in my rabies shots. Should have done that in July. And Lily's gonna get one. And Lena's gonna go get her glands squeezed. Huh. Oh. You heard the kitties. Oh my goodness. I never a dull moment here. Well, listen, y'all. Thank you for listening to my story. And it's true because everything has happened. Yeah. Then I talk about Georgie down there in Florida. Oh my goodness. My goodness. He's working on his house down there. They're going to put a swimming pool into his Airbnb. I want to get down there and see it before he sells it or whatever he's going to do. Jordan is moving at the end of the month to Georgia. I told her I'd help, you know, but I think they got it all covered. They're gonna move into Georgia's house and then look for a house in Jasper, Georgia. It's near, not too far from Tennessee. It's just right over the big bridge. We never go. When I go to visit Georgia, I just don't like the what do you call that? That Interstate 75 or 24. That's a crazy place down there. I like driving the country roads. Like when I go to visit my son, I hit 13, come down that twisty road that Deb don't like, Waynesboro. Go down there and go through Florence and then pick up 278 and take 278 all the way straight through. And you come to my son's house. And that's a 4-lane now. Some of the place used to be, wasn't a 4-lane. So, but yeah, it'd be nice. She's finally coming this way. Too far to go down there in Florida. So she just got back from Yosemite. I've never been there yet. I think I drove a truck through there. No, I wasn't anywhere near there. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good afternoon. Bubba's barking up a storm. Yep. I need some more water. I'm out of water. And hit that like button and hit that notification when I come back on. You have a wonderful afternoon now. I don't even know what time it is. I talked your ears off already. And whatever the stickers are, welcome. Look at that sun coming through there. See, that's why I put these blinds down. I should get the black ones. I like the black ones, but they don't have the drawstrings. They'll work. I'm cold. I gotta go in the house. The temperature's dropping. All right, I love you. Thank you all for watching. This is Jennifer Duck or Daisy Duck. I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.